Well, Paul, 0-0 in the end. What are your thoughts after that?
Pretty frustrated, obviously. I thought we played really well. We could have scored virtually in the first minute of the game. And there wasn't a lot wrong with our play. The lads sort of took what we said really well. We moved the ball along the back line, dropped into a 3 to try and move it quickly and get out the other way. And we had loads of attacking play first half, loads of good wing play. But in fairness to Mark and his team, they defended really well. Every time we got the ball, they got 10 men behind the ball and made it difficult. And our midfielders kept dropping back past the strikers to try and help. But then you're sort of leaving yourself 6v10, so it's hard to break down. But that aside, no team's going to come here and get their belly rubbed. So I thought the lads played against it really well. However, it's goals that, fundamentally people turn up and pay to watch. So they want to see goals, they want to see goal-mouth action, and we created enough chances in this game to handsomely win, I think, but we didn't take them. And fundamentally, if you don't take them, there's always a chance you're going to get done on the sucker punch. We tried to change the system, made some subs to try and change it, probably to get us a bit more luck, really, and it just didn't fall for us in the box. That's what's disappointing. That, and I thought our set pieces were pretty woeful. So, and I've said to the group, and I'm happy to say it now, that last year I thought there was loads of tough games at home, loads of tight games. Like I just remember the Sheffield Wednesday more than anyone. But in them tight games, a set piece can get you a goal, and the afternoon takes a different pattern. But our delivery from different players today wasn't at the level to help us win. And in tight games like that, sometimes it is a work set piece that can take you the win, and it wasn't to be. So. Before you ask me another question, on the whole, I'm really pleased with the performance, but obviously disappointed. I don't want the crowd to boo when the final whistle goes. That's not what we're involved in football for. We want to excite people and bring wins at home because our away form's been really good. But that's probably the best we've played in weeks, and only a point to show for it, which is disappointing.
You've mentioned before when we spoke after home games that there have been things that you didn't necessarily like in the performances. Did you feel that this was sort of a step forward in that regard then? You're just frustrated that you kind of didn't get rewarded for that? Yeah,
really. I mean, we had a couple of really good chances first half. Nat did, Tom did. And I thought the two wide men caused them real problems. The two fullbacks played really well. There's some really good performances. I thought Ryan on his home debut was excellent. Tyrese was really good in the middle again with Corey, and Nelson, Cash hardly put a foot wrong, and we limited them to very few chances. So I don't come in here angry about this should have happened, that should have happened. I've said to the lads, they're going to make mistakes. I understand that, but I want them to be positive. And I thought our play overall merited a win. But like I said already, Mark's team was set up and they're happy with their point, and they've worked really hard for their point. They've had to change certain players during the game because we were causing problems, and he'll be happy with his point and feel like it's well deserved. And it feels like to us, everyone who's got a ram on their chest possibly, that it's 2 points dropped, and that's how it feels. We can do everything, but unfortunately we just couldn't get it over the line.
But you are 4 games unbeaten now, and I think that unbeaten run last year, it started with a few draws and you gained that sort of habit of not losing games. Is that the sort of hope that you've got, that you're starting to gently build a bit of momentum if you can?
Yeah, I mean, I did come into this game fully confident. It does feel like we've sort of got the main men back. Connor will join in Monday, so he'll be potentially available for Tuesday, so that's a result. And there was loads of positives. So if I came, if we'd have scored in the 88th minute today, I'd come in here and think there's nothing massively wrong. And Cambridge are doing as well as us for points, so it's not like, they're bottom with 0 and we've got 24 or something. So it's not a game like that. I'm not disrespectful to the league at all. I just think that, we just didn't do enough to score the goal. And, I don't think our keeper had a real save to make. He did actually, a long distance one, yeah, sorry. So we limited them to very, very little. But like I said, it's just disappointing we didn't score. And if we would have scored, everything feels amazing. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And, sometimes that's how football is.
That's 3 clean sheets on the spin now as well. Do you feel that pretty confident in terms of what you've got in the back line? You've looked very solid at the moment.
Yeah, really good, and like Sonny's trained really well as well. So Sonny's right at the chomping at the bit to get in the team. Obviously, Kane is. Kane gives us more excitement, as in like his attacking player. That sounds really offensive. Whereas Ryan's a really strong defensive player. So I feel like the units are working really well. And it hasn't looked like we're really going to concede. The same last week, only long-range shots. So, yeah, really pleasing on that. But to win games, you have to score in games. And unfortunately, today was another day where we didn't take our chances and we go home feeling disappointed. And, you know, you're only... those little moments today, we probably weren't as good as we should have been.
You mentioned Conor Hourihane potentially back on Tuesday at Blackpool. You got Max Bird on for a couple of minutes today, which is clearly encouraging. And in terms of injuries, just Callum Elder, the situation with him?
Yeah, Callum has had an operation on his hernia. It sounds horrendous, but it isn't really. He had an op a while back on one side, and what normally happens is if one side's gone, the other side, you know, counteracts, and then that goes. And he's just been in a little bit of pain for the last couple of weeks, and he felt like his performances were deteriorating a little bit, so we took the opportunity to do the op while we had sort of strength in depth, really. And you know, he should be back at the training ground already, but you know, by the time the international break's over, he should be fully fit. So it isn't as dramatic as it sounds. He just had a bit of keyhole surgery, which was always a ticking time bomb for him, really. So yeah, so that's all it is on him.
An emotional moment after 31 minutes, the whole stadium rising and applauding Josh Vickers, and to remember his late wife. Must have been I saw you with your head down. It was another emotional moment.
Yeah, I knew Laura, and obviously I love Josh, so yeah, difficult. I'd like to thank everyone who was in this stadium today, to be honest, and the Cambridge United fans showed full respect. And you know, I know footballers and football fans get bad press, but at times, but generally we're really good people, everyone, and I just thought it was fitting, harrowing, sad, but you know, also nice in a weird way. I don't know if I'm getting my words out right, but it was. And I know that Laura's family were here today to support Josh as well, and it's been tough for him, and you know, so yeah, it was just unfortunate that we couldn't win for her as well. That would have been the icing on the cake.
And just lastly, you've got 2 away games now next week, Blackpool and Cheltenham. It's time to sort of dust yourself down and go again pretty quickly.
Two tough games. Obviously, Blackpool have been picking up since we played them early in the season. So that'd be a tough game. Cheltenham obviously changed their manager recently, so that's never an easy place to go. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, I'll be honest about it, that if you don't pick wins up at home, it puts more pressure on your away form. So hopefully we can perform in the next 2 games, and then obviously the Notts County game before the international break. But you know, we need to turn draws into wins, because if you're going to get promoted and be up and around, you know, draws aren't much good to you. They might be at the end of the season. You might look back. That might be the one point that gets us where we want to be. But you know, from performance today, I thought we deserved a win. But unfortunately, you don't always get what you deserve.